Hi, this is David Davis from ActualTech Media. We're live here at VMworld 2016, and I'm excited to be joined by Mr. Brian Morin. He's the Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Condusive Technologies. How you doing, Brian?
Doing great. How are you doing, David?
I'm great. So, Condusive Technologies, you guys, we've been talking about, your product, which is Velocity for virtual environments.
Right.
And I'm really intrigued as to, how it can help real virtualization admins out there in real data centers. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is and how it helps?
Sure, absolutely. Well, Conducive Technology, we're not a new kid on the block. We've actually been around for 34 years. So that puts us as the 12th oldest software company. However, our solution for virtual environments has really been a focus for us, going back 4 years ago when we brought our Velocity I/O reduction product line to the market. And since then, we've seen over 2,000 organizations adopt it, use it to enhance the performance of their applications running on their existing systems. It's just transparent, set and forget software, and our customers experience anywhere from 50 to 300% faster application performance on their existing systems, so you don't have to add any new hardware to get it. We're just solving some root cause performance issues at the top of the stack, so that those systems can process workloads much faster.
Wow, so here at VMworld, probably half the show floor is storage solutions of some kind, hardware, flash, caching, all these different solutions, and they're all out there mostly to solve I/O problems. So what you all do is prevent the I/O problems, it sounds like was what I'm hearing, before they happen by reducing I/Os.
Right.
Am I getting that right?
Well, all the other players here are talking about how they can process I/O quickly.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is we can actually solve some of those I/O issues at the top of the stack that are making the underlying architecture work much harder than it needs to be. So right now, in a virtual environment, as great as it is for server efficiency, the downside is how it adds complexity to the data path. So you end up with I/O characteristics that are just a lot smaller, more fractured, more random than they need to be. We call it death by 1,000 cuts. Systems are processing workloads about 50% slower than they should. So as much as you can continue to throw hardware at the problem to try to over-provision for performance or mask those problems, we're the guys that want to walk in and say, hey, why don't we try to solve the root cause problem first, and then let's see what happens.
Very nice. I've heard the saying, the fastest I/O is when you don't have to write.
Yeah.
So,
right.
You guys are preventing that. So tell me kind of how it works. I have a vSphere infrastructure.
Yeah.
I'm interested in using Conducive for virtual environments. How do I get started?
Right. Well, it's very simple and straightforward. As I mentioned, it's transparent, set and forget. It's software that installs directly into the Windows operating system on the virtual machine. And all that we're doing is we're simply just adding a layer of intelligence into the Windows file system so that it's a lot smarter on how it's handing down writes. So instead of a lot of these small, tiny writes that are chewing up performance, we're ensuring nice, large, contiguous, sequential writes coming from that Windows VM, and then obviously subsequent reads that are being served from storage. So now your I/O profile is just a lot healthier, so you get far more workload being pushed through that system, far more throughput in the same amount of time.
Okay, so tell me some of the use cases and maybe some of the customers that, how has it helped?
Sure. Well, a customer, when they come looking for us, it's because they simply just have a performance problem.
Okay.
They're looking at perhaps having to do an expensive, disruptive hardware upgrade to fix it, and they're looking at us say, can you do something for us first?
Right.
Now, those use cases could be all over the map. It might be something running on SQL or Oracle. It could be Exchange. It might be a SharePoint. It could be a file server, electronic health record applications, or images. So it could be any number of those. We're agnostic to the application. All that really matters when you come looking for us is it I/O intensive? Is it difficult for you to support from a performance standpoint? We can help solve those problems at the very top of the stack.
Very nice, very nice. So, Conducive for virtual environments goes inside Windows virtual machines, reduces I/Os.
Yeah.
That's great if you're 100% virtual. What if you're not 100% virtual?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because, as much as a lot of our customers are 80% virtual, 90% virtual, there's a part of their physical environment that just isn't going away. And for that environment, they've asked us, what can you do for us in that environment? Now, Conducive Technologies, we were actually formerly known as Diskkeeper. And
I've used that before.
Yeah, I'm sure that you have. In fact, almost all IT professionals we talk to say at one point or another, they had used Diskkeeper. It has this ubiquitous brand association with solving fragmentation issues. Now, when you say Diskkeeper, you think of physical servers, you think of physical clients, your laptops, desktops, and most people associate it with being a defrag utility. Well, DiskKeeper is not a defrag utility anymore. In fact, next month, at the end of September, we're releasing DiskKeeper 16 with DRAM caching. So now we've taken a different approach where we actually prevent fragmentation from occurring in those environments, and we've layered on DRAM caching to take advantage of the idle available DRAM sitting there to serve some of those hot reads.
Very nice, very nice. So DiskKeeper now in version 16 is being enhanced.
That's right.
to provide caching and prevent fragmentation. I like that.
Yeah.
Prevent the problem before it happens.
Exactly. So we're just making better use of what those system resources already have, so you're getting optimal performance. And again, it fits under that same umbrella that as soon as you install it, the typical customer experience is anywhere from 50 to 300% faster application performance. The biggest play in that area are those customers of ours who are running, applications running on SQL that they just refuse to virtualize or add into that infrastructure for whatever reason, or it's using all the resources on that physical server, so they just keep it there. They're needing some performance help, and that's what we're driving for them. And in the other case, it's they're managing a fleet of laptops, out in the field, and they just need to get better productivity for their users, and so the same solution applies for them as well.
Very nice, very nice. So Conducive for virtual environments. I'm intrigued to try it out in my vSphere lab.
Yeah.
What do people do? How do they get started? Is there an eval, or how does that work?
It's very simple and straightforward. Someone can go to our website, condusive.com, condusiv.com, and you can just hit that website and request an evaluation and get your hands on the product. The beauty about the product itself is, as much as the claim sounds very compelling, well, the proof is in the pudding.
That's right.
And in our case, everyone can evaluate that solution, that software, see and experience the performance and the acceleration of those applications before making any type of purchase commitment. So that ROI is immediately obvious to anybody who puts it in their environment to try it.
Very nice. That's the kind of product I like, that provides immediate ROI and it's easy to try out.
Right.
So thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you, David.